My name is Jazzanna Johnson, and I'm a victim of the family court system in Orange County, California.
You and I are just going to chat. So, why are you here?
I'm here because when I went to talk in court, nobody would believe what I was saying.
And where were you in court? Who was the judge? Who wouldn't listen?
It was in Orange County, the Orange County courthouse, and it was David Bells.
And who is David?
He's the judge.
So, Judge?
Judge David Bells.
All right, so why don't I get you to say, Judge, I'm here because when I went to court in Orange County, Judge David Bells wouldn't listen to me.
Okay. No? I'm here because when I was in Orange County, Judge David Bells would not listen to me.
And is he a family court judge?
Yes.
So instead say, yes, he's a family, or just say,
Okay.
he's a family court judge.
Okay. He's a family court judge.
And what did you want to tell Judge Bells?
That what I'm saying is real because I was there when all of my memories had happened. That I have a voice and that I know how to use it and what I want in this life.
All right. You want to pretend I'm Judge David Bells? You want to tell me, or do you want to look in the camera and say it to him?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
When nobody listens to me, it's confusing because if I'm talking and you have ears, you're not deaf, and you can listen to me, then why do you change my words? If I'm telling you something, that means I want to be heard, not just I'm telling you just to tell you. I'm telling you because there's a reason.
What do you want to tell me?
That what you're doing isn't right. That kids my age know what they want. We're not allowed to drink. We're not allowed to do, things until we're 18. But we have a voice. We've had a voice since we were little. So we know what we want. And when we're telling you and you don't listen, well, that's confusing for us. Because if we have a voice and we're trying to use it, but whoever we're talking to already has their mind made up about what they think, then what's the point of talking?
Good point. How old do you think you were when you would be able to know what happened to you or be able to speak intelligently about it? Is there an age where you think that changed? I mean, let's face it, a 2, 3, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, they
9 to 11 years old.
9 to 11. Yeah, some states have 11 as the magic age, which I don't know. You're 13. When did you first try to talk to the judge? Give me a second. Bill Windsor?
Thank
okay.
you.
We'll come get him. Thank you.
Speaking right up, that's good.
Hang on just a second. Let me peek at the camera's going back on. All right, so you think at the age of 11, 9 to 11 children probably have the ability to express their
Yes.
what's happened to them, and somebody should believe them. When did you first try to speak to Judge Bells?
I believe when I was 9 or 10.
You need to say, I first tried to speak to Judge Bells when I was 9 or 10.
I first tried to speak to Judge Bells when I was 10.
Did he listen at all? Did he ask you any questions?
Well, my attorney went out and spoke for me, but nothing happened. They came back and it was the same results because no one was listening.
So the judge never heard you speak, is that it?
No.
Never?
No, he never. I wrote him a letter. I did. Me and my sister both did, but he never wrote back. There was no response other than the letter didn't matter.
Why don't you say then, I wrote Judge David Bells a letter. I went to court and hoped to be able to speak. I was never given a chance to speak, and he never responded to my letter.
Okay. I wrote a letter to Judge David Bells. I went into court hoping that he would respond, but nothing happened and he didn't respond.
Is what you wanted to convey in your letter?
What I wanted to convey was what happened to me, and I wanted to ask why he wouldn't he wouldn't respond to anything I was trying to say. He wouldn't take action for anything in my life. I wanted to explain that I had control of my life and that what I was saying was true, that it came from me and no one else.
Do you want to tell us what it is that you wanted to tell him, or do you not feel comfortable with that? Do you have the letter with you?
No, it's public record, but we didn't bring it with us.
Go ahead and say.
You can speak in broad terms. You don't have to go into specifics.
Okay. Well, my letter basically stated that no matter how many times I talked to therapists, to attorneys, anybody, they wouldn't listen to what I tried to tell them. I've been to maybe more than 4 or 5 therapists. I lost count. And each time I tried to explain how I felt and what I wanted. But each time was the same response.
You want me to stop the camera for a minute?
I think the purpose of me coming here was because, as far as I can remember, I've wanted control of my own life. I mean, the judges, everybody, the lawyers, everybody wants to have control of their own life. And if they lose it, because a judge or a lawyer or somebody says, well, you're not old enough to have control of your life, we'll give you control to, a mom or a dad or a guardian. Well, I believe that, I'm 13, and I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but I know that the reason I came is because I know where I want to be, and I know I'm not there. My father abused me, and right now my mother does have custody with me, and I'm living there with her, but I haven't gained control of my life yet because he is still in my life. Just a few months ago, I was homeschooled. I wanted to stay there. But I couldn't. And, I've been put back into public school, and I've had to go to more therapists than I can count. And it's because I don't have control of my life. And that...
Let me ask you a couple questions. Why can't you continue to be homeschooled? What was the decision there?
My father, once he found out that my mother had put us in homeschool because my sister, Janice Johnson, had an illness, an autoimmune disease. So whenever she went to school, she would get sick all the time. So the doctors, the teachers, the principals recommended that she would be put into homeschool. And, after a while, my sister did go, but school was rough, the kids. I just didn't want to be there alone. So my mother, she put me in homeschool. And just this past year, she went to court because they wanted to, I think the word was convict her, because they say that there was an order saying, I don't know, she had to run by everything that was going on, and I guess he didn't find out until maybe a year before this time. And that she had violated a court order which was never signed. So we had to be, me and my sister were put back into public school just this past year. And I've written letters and I've talked about how I wanted to stay in homeschool, but here I am, still in public school, and still hearing from him and about what he wants to do with my life. Still hearing from my father and what he wants to do. So life is, I was happy until they took me to an evaluator just this past year. And well, it seemed like her mind was already made up. I told her everything, my memories and what had happened to me, but that didn't really matter. I even cried in front of her. And when I started crying, the only thing that she asked me was, why was I getting so emotional? You see a kid crying, you don't ask them that. You ask them what you can do to help.
So was it a court order that forced you to go to public school?
No. It was, they had went to court, and they had discussed it, and the judge even, said, my attorney, Linda Ross, she told the judge, that the reason we were put in a homeschool was because of my sister's illness. And she said, well, what are we going to do when she starts getting sick again? And the judge's only reply was, well, we'll deal with it when that comes around.
So the judge, whether there's an order or not, authorized, is the one that's making you go to public school.
Yeah. Yes.
Isn't it true that the judge is the one that is ultimately requiring you to go to public school?
Yes, the judge is ultimately requiring me to go to public school.
And did you observe the judge say anything in court that really bothered you, or a lot of things probably? What did you observe?
He told my father's attorney to write whatever he wanted and that he would make it an order.
So he wasn't saying, well, let's discuss all the issues and then we'll decide what an order should be. He just told your father's attorney to write whatever he wanted?
Yes, just to write whatever he wanted and that he would make it happen.
Does that sound fair to you?
No, it doesn't. If he were to be telling anybody that, it should be me, I mean, it's like he's signing over my life. It's like he's saying, well, okay, this isn't your life, but you can have control of it. You can do what you want with it. But that's not right.
Does your father have any custody rights with you? Do you have to do visitations with him?
No, not at this moment. I don't have to do visitations with him.
Did your father ever hit you?
Yes, my father hit me.
Was he verbally abusive to you?
My father abused me emotionally, physically, and sexually, and even though I don't have visitation rights right now. I feel like he's still in my life, and he's still every day. I feel like every day he's still haunting me.
Do I understand that your mom has a handicap?
My mother and father are both blind.
And have you told your mother about what's happened to you?
When I told her, actually, it was this one summer, and I was acting up a lot. So, I had told her what me and my sister had told her and my grandmother what had happened to us, and I don't understand how nothing happened, you know? I mean, if you tell someone something, you tell them because you want to get help, you know? And no matter how many people we've told, it's like they don't want to help, or they just don't care. Thank you.
These guys over here care. So we'll try to help you. I don't know. My trouble is I don't have much time, but I'll guarantee you this movie and these videos are going to help some people, and I hope they help you. Because your mom's blind, she's at a disadvantage in trying to protect you.
Yes.
You need judges to listen to you more instead of less. Anything else you want to say?
When I went to my first therapist, I told her what I still want now. And I want to have my day in court where I get to choose what orders will be made in my life and my sister's. And that everything that a lawyer or any kind of person has said on my behalf has been because I've asked them to, and because every time they tried to speak up for me, every judge, every person who has authority to stop all these corrupt people they haven't done that. And I've done it because no matter how many times you say something, they can't get through to a person unless they actually want to listen.